Did you ever boil your batteries? Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to Memory Lane, and today I want to talk about something I used to see the guys do. Those were the guys who were much older than I was. Now back then, before the days of television, back in the early 60s, you know, the radio was a very common piece of equipment, or a piece of, you know, source of entertainment and information in many homes who were fortunate to have one, right? It was not uncommon to see guys walking around, you know, with their radio. Sometimes it's just a tiny one, just as small as this cell phone here. Those use the AA batteries, or there was a size up from the AA batteries, or bigger size radios, you know. But the radio was an integral part of homes the homes that could afford one, for entertainment and information back then, right? In those days, we never had any other forms of entertainment. I'm talking about electronic entertainment now, right? People would sit and they would listen to stories on the radio. They might have sat and listened to the news. Then you would have the radio soap operas that would come on maybe every day or once a week, more like the podcast type thing that we have in these modern days. Yeah, so the radio. But the thing about it, keeping the radio, how should I say, supporting a radio could be a very expensive, an expensive thing. Expensive in the sense that you always have to be buying batteries for that thing. You know, it's not like nowadays when you can, recharge your phone, or you might have a Bluetooth device and you can just plug it in to recharge. Everything then, for us living in these rural areas of Jamaica back in that time period, it was all about the battery man, right? So whenever someone purchases a new set of batteries, for the radio that uses two, that was a good thing. But there were some radios that use 4 batteries, and sometimes it was the D size, the biggest one, right? If it was all AA's, maybe not too bad, but the D size, and those were quite expensive. So having a radio back then, while it provided, some form of entertainment and information, and it was a sought after piece of equipment in many homes, it could be quite expensive to keep one because batteries were not cheap, So one thing I used to see guys do, and looking back, I'm wondering, was this something safe to do? Was this just a myth or something? I would see the guys, when the batteries ran down to a certain point, the voltage or the current in the battery got low to the point where, after you turn on the radio and you can hardly hear anything. I would see guys take out the batteries out of their radios and put them in hot water and boil them. People swore then that doing that lengthened the life of the battery, and actually heard an improvement in terms of voltage output in the battery. Now, like I said, I'm still curious, I'm still wondering right now in this stage of my life, was that even a valid thing? Did it even make sense? Me personally, I've never done it. I've never done it because, I had a little more common sense to realize that these batteries have some bad chemicals inside of them. Even from an early age, I figured that out, and I didn't want to poison myself. These batteries have toxic stuff inside of them. Yeah, but I used to see guys boil their batteries. And you know, especially around cricket time, because if you're from the Caribbean or you're familiar with Caribbean culture, you would know that cricket is a very common and loved sport in the Caribbean, right? And when it comes around to cricket, especially test match time, and you don't have a, you know, you're a lover of the game and you don't have a radio, you don't have batteries in your radio, that would be a big source of you know, anxiety and sadness for you. You can't get to listen to your favorite test match on the radio, man. Oh my goodness. So that was one thing some of the guys used to resort to, boiling their batteries. What do you mean talk about boiling batteries? Yeah. Yeah, so tell me about it. I mean, what are some of your experiences? Do you have recollections wherever you're from of people doing that? Was it something that you did as a young person? Was there actually, did it actually made a difference? I'd love to hear about it. Anyway, that's all for today. You know, but something I remember that, you know, as a kid, I used to see people doing. Anyway, that's all for today. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe or hit the thumbs up button. If you like the channel, make sure you subscribe, all right? So until we talk again, my name is Source of Food, and this is Memory Lane.